So today we'll start with our phylum Porifera. So, so animals belonging to phylum Porifera are primitive multicellular organisms. These are the first group of animals with multicellular organization. Even though they are having the multicellular, but they don't form a tissues. Okay, because these are the animals are having the multicellular many cells, but those cells are not integrated. Okay, the cells are loosely aggregated. Means the cells are loosely aggregated and there is no coordination between the cells. Okay, there is no coordination with the nervous coordination or chemical coordination. So the cells are loosely arranged. This is a unique characteristics of the group of animals in the Porifera. The term Porifera is coined by Robert Graves, the scientist who termed the word Porifera porous bearing animals. Porifera means porous bearing animals. This group includes sponges, also called as pore bearing animals, because they have pores on their body. Now let us see some of the general characteristics of this group. All the animals in the sponges are sessile. Sessile means they are fixed in one place, they are immobile. And their habitat is mostly marine. Except Spongilla. This Spongilla is a freshwater sponges. So except Spongilla, all the poriferans are marine poriferans. So they are all are sessile. They show cellular level of organization, no tissue formation, because there is no coordination between the cells. That's the reason we call it a still cellular organization. The symmetry, majority of the sponges asymmetrical, means majority of them asymmetrical symmetry, but very few like Euplectella. They show radial symmetry. Okay, so except Euplectella, all are showing the asymmetrical symmetry, and Euplectella is showing a radial symmetry. Now let us understand the structure of let us see the structure of sponges. body will be like this, the typical sponge. So body is made by the pores, and these pores are called as ostia. So cavity, this cavity in the sponges we call it as spongiocele. The external opening we call it as ossiculum. So these sponges attaches to the surface called substratum. Okay. So let us see the cell wall. So it has two layers, outer pinacocytes okay. These are the pinacocytes forms pinacoderm. Okay. And there will be the inner layer called as choanoderm. And these are the choanocytes. So choanocytes are having a small extension called collar, and it has a flagella. So these choanocytes are towards the spongiocele. This is spongiocele, for example. These are the choanocytes, forms a choanoderm. Same like here also. So choanocytes are also called as a collar cells. So in the radial cavity where ostia is there, an inner opening, so there is a special cells called as porocytes. So outer layer is called as pinacoderm, which is made by the pinacocytes. Inner layer is called as choanoderm, which is made by the choanocytes. So at the radial cavity or the ostia, there is a specialized cells called as porocytes. These porocytes are enables the cavity or enables the radial cavity for the ostia for the inhalant of the water. So between the pinacoderm and choanoderm, there will be gelatinous matrix. called as mesohyl. This is called mesohyl. This mesohyl is contain collagen and amoebocytes. So in the mesohyl, there is amoebocytes. These cells produces collagen in the mesohyl. Collagen in the mesohyl. And there are sclerocytes, and these sclerocytes secretes spicules. The spicules are endoskeletal. These are the spicules. And mesohyl also contains spongiocytes. These cells are produce spongin fiber. Spongin fiber. So this is the complete structure of the porifera. So outer layer pinacoderm contains pinacocytes, inner layer contains collar cells or choanocytes, makes it choanoderm, and at the radial cavity there is a specialized cells called porocytes. Between pinacoderm and choanoderm there is a fibrous matrix called mesohyl. Mesohyl contains amoebocytes and spicules and the spongin fiber. So sponges having a canal system, so water enters into the body through ostia and it reaches the spongiocele and then it goes out with ossiculum. And this type of system we call it as canal system. And having a canal system in the porifera is a unique character. Canal system. Okay. There are three types of canal systems. One is Ascon type. Ascon type of canal system. So like this, if the choanocytes are towards the spongiocele, we call it as Ascon type. Example is leucosolenium. So in leucosolenium, you can see this Ascon type of canal system. And the Sycon canal system, if the choanocytes at the radial cavity, instead of porocytes, if the choanocytes are there, we call it as Sycon type of canal system. Example, Kypha. And Leucon type means if the choanocytes are in the molding of the flagella. The example is spongilla. These are the three different types of canal system. Having a canal system is a unique characteristics of the phylum Porifera. Now, let us discuss about the spicules. Now, spicules are the endoskeleton structures. Remember, these are not the endoskeleton systems, but they are the structures, spicules. Uh, Endoskeleton in porifera are two types of endoskeletons. One is spicules. Spicules are produced by the sclerocytes, whereas spongin spongin is produced by spongocytes. So this is very important because based on the endoskeleton, so we classify porifera into different classes. Now spicules are two types. In some porifera, these spicules are made by calcium carbonate. We call it as calciferous spicules. These spicules are like needle with point ended, very sharp and unbranched. They are straight. Another one is in some poriferas, these spicules are made by salicylic acid. We call it as siliceous spicules. Siliceous spicules. These are branched one and also sharp ended one. Like this. Whereas the spongins endoskeletons are very soft, made with protein. They are very soft. Okay, they are very soft. These are endoskeletons of the porifera. Now, let us see the functions of the porifera. So, nutrition. So, these holozoic nutrition, they intake the food in the form of water. In the water, whatever available nutrients, it will goes into the spongiocele, and both the inner and external cell, the nutrition digestion is happening intracellular. Intracellular digestion is happening. And reserved food stores in the form of picocytes. Picocytes. In picocytes, the whatever the reserve food they will store in the picocytes. The respiration from the diffusion by the diffusion and excretion also from the surface layer. The material which is extracts by the porifera is ammonia, Hence we call it as aminotelic. Aminotelic. So reproduction in Porifera can be asexually by the budding and sexually by the gamete formation. Okay, so asexually they produce the buds. If the buds forms outside outer layer, that is pinacoderm, we call it as exogenous buds. Exogenous buds. If the buds are formed inside towards the spongiostele on the choanoderm, we call it as endogenous. So endogenous buds are very special cells. We call them as gemmules because in the gemmules there are specialized cells called archaeocytes. Archaeocytes, and these archaeocytes covered with a membrane, and there is an extracellular matrix is there. In that these spicules will be there, and these extracellular matrix protects from the dehydration and other unfavorable conditions. These are among archaeocytes. So the spicules and other gelatinous substance prevents from the dehydration and all. So once mature, these archaeocytes comes out with a special opening called micropipe. These archaeocytes are totipotent cells because of these archaeocytes. These poriferans have a capability of the regeneration. So archaeocytes in gemmules are having this totipotency. By sexual reproduction, these are hermaphrodites having both male and female gametes. They are having both male and female gametes. And the male gamete develops first, we call it as protogynous. So after both the gametes, male gametes develops first, we call it as protogynous. If female develops first, we call it as a protandrous. And internal fertilization, internal fertilization. And development is indirect. Indirect developments, so there will be larval stage. So there are two larvae. One is parenchymal larva, which is a solid form, which is solid, and there is amphiblastula. There is an amphiblastula larva which is a hollow one. these are the important silent features of the phylum Porifera. So classification part we'll discuss tomorrow. Classifications and useful Porifera we will discuss tomorrow.